Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I thought I've made videos where I've talked about the basics, about being a good person, and when you try different techniques to be a better person, and it just plain flat makes your life better. And it was funny because I had someone make a comment, and they questioned because I mentioned immoral laws, and then he says, there's no immoral laws in the United States. We don't have any immoral laws. And I've mentioned before that most everybody has got morals, but they don't always use them. And for whatever reason, I haven't figured all that out. As a matter of fact, I haven't even thought about it. I'm always worried about me using my morals. So when it comes to other people, you know, I really don't push my morals. What I do is give them an example of my morals, because, like I say, and I've mentioned it before, that I believe people live the way they believe. So, I mean, you can act nice, but you can only do that for so long. It's in the long run is when you start really seeing the person, and you can tell how strong their morals are by looking at their track record. And when he mentioned there's no immoral laws, and I'm thinking, well, then I started, he says, give me an example. And so then I started talking about racial laws, hatred laws, just one thing after another. There's all kinds of immoral laws. And he couldn't see it. And so then I ended up, I said, well, the last one that I know of, the last immoral law, is, I say, when somebody that's confused in their sexual whatever, they can just use any kind of bathroom they want, you know. And they had to make a law saying that confused people can share the bathroom with anybody they want to, even though the other ones may not appreciate sharing the bathroom with them. So and so that was the last one that I meant, the last immoral law that I'm aware of, that's in your face. I'm sure there's many all the time. And I told him one example, or not one, but an example of moral laws is like the Ten Commandments. And so, in other words, if laws are based somewhat on the Ten Commandments, I would say that's pretty more than likely that's a moral law. If it doesn't fall under one of the Ten Commandments, then you got to start thinking how much of it is a moral or immoral law, or doesn't have nothing to do with morals at all. Maybe it's just under a control factor, you know, such as a seatbelt. Okay, now a seatbelt is not really, in my opinion anyway, it's not really a immoral or a moral law. And Maybe it might be a controlling law. Sometimes they make laws just because they can do it, and it could be something like that. I really don't think they're concerned about our safety. If they were, I think they would make us wear a helmet. Most people in car wrecks die of head injuries, so I think we need to wear a helmet if they're really that concerned. So it could fall under the thing about control, but also there'd be laws like speed limits and stuff like that. It's a controlling factor in the way that we don't run into each other, something to keep the traffic going and stuff like that. But sometimes laws are just plain flat made, like I say, in the way of controlling, but not in any type of a positive manner. Like traffic would be maybe a positive manner, but sometimes, I mentioned in Guatemala, they have a law where you can't defend yourself. And well, if you can't defend yourself, it's illegal to defend yourself. That's definitely an immoral law, because we have a moral responsibility to defend ourselves. So that's an immoral law, and but they've got them like that here in the United States. And but if somebody really believes that the government, any government, cares for its people, and the government officials don't put themselves ahead of the public, that would be a different story. But like I say, I'm sure there are some good public officials that put the public ahead of themselves. They're very hard to find. Like I say, they're going to use the laws, immoral or moral, controlling or non-controlling, tyrant type laws. They're going to do them and enforce them to cover their own butt. So, and they're doing that to cover their retirement. They're doing that so they have a job. They're doing that for their hospitalizations or benefits. You know what I mean? So, in other words, they are putting themselves ahead of the public, and they don't really care. And this is what's happening, the way I see it, in the United States, and that's where we're getting that us versus them type of mentality. Now, me personally, us, like the public, and them, the government, I don't see it quite like that, because I'm still kind of old-fashioned. I'm kind of under the impression they work for me. So it's not like them, it's their employees from the public. So it's not us and them. Even though I can see through their actions, they see us as them is they are the ones that are in control, and we are in a zoo, and the public are the ones behind the bars, and they have to keep us under control. And that's what's coming across to me. And when I come across attitudes like, well, there's no immoral laws, and the laws are they're for a reason and all this, they can't see that the reason is to protect them, as in the government, and not us as the public. And that's the stuff that kind of scares me when I come across attitudes like that. When people have that attitude, it's either they're part of the government, or they're even on the low end of the sheeple part. They don't have enough sense to think for themselves. And I mentioned even in Cuba, See, if they're communists, they have no religion, so there's no morals. They don't. Not only they don't base any of their laws on any kind of moral standing, but the people have not used morals. I say Castro took over in the 1960, so, you know, what, 50-some years, generation after generation, they pretty much lost the idea of morals, right and wrong. And like I say, when I was there in 2000, everybody knew what was right and wrong. You know, I mean, there was no question about it. And that's because all you have to do is ask Castro. And Castro will tell you what's right and wrong. And Castro is the one that makes the laws. So the laws aren't based on morals. They're based on whatever corrupt people believe the law needs to be. So I do believe we need to kind of look around and look, not only look in ourselves and see how we believe, but remember we are surrounded by spiritually weak individuals that a lot of times they dial 911 because they feel they're inadequate to handle a situation. And many of those times they're inadequate to handle that situation. It's because they don't have any moral strength. So, you know, and I'm sure the guy that made the comment sees me as, if I stand by morals, that means I'm a weak person. He doesn't understand that morals is what makes me strong. Morals is what gives me strength. Morals is what made the United States a great nation. It's morally strong individuals coming together for a common goal, and they get things done, and everybody benefits. And that, I think, a lot of people just kind of goes over their head. So, and it's becoming more apparent. Like I say, this trip, when I came up here to the United States, I've noticed stupidity is really running pretty rampant now. And it's really scary to see so many ignorant people. And I don't know if they're going to sharpen up or not, or if it's ingrained in them so hard, so much, that they don't have any moral strength to stand. Not only to stand for themselves, but to stand with others. And but I don't know. Like I say, I'm still looking, but I'll tell you, I haven't been pleasantly surprised. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.